A Quaker silversmith looked at the blood-stained streets of Cincinnati in the 1820s and made a decision that would change American history forever. I'm talking about the birth of something that wasn't supposed to exist. In the 1830s, when teaching a black person to read could get you thrown in prison, when the entire nation conspired to keep African Americans enslaved and uneducated, one man stood up and said, "Not on my watch." His name was Richard Humphreys, and what he did next became America's oldest weapon against ignorance. But here's where this story gets absolutely fascinating. Before I continue, hit that follow button because what I'm about to share will completely change how you see American education. In the 1820s, Richard Humphreys witnessed something that shook him to his core. According to historical records from the Institute for Colored Youth Archives, race riots erupted in Cincinnati in 1829. Mobs attacked free black Americans simply because they were competing for jobs with Irish immigrants. Humphreys, born on a Caribbean plantation and living in Philadelphia, watched free black people lose everything. Not because they lacked talent, but because the system was rigged against them. That's when he made his move. In 1832, Humphreys died, but he left behind something revolutionary. As documented by the Richard Humphreys Foundation, he bequeathed $10,000, 1/10 of his entire estate, to 13 fellow Quakers with a single mission: create a school to educate descendants of the African race and train them as teachers. Think about that. This wasn't charity. This was strategy. He understood something profound. Frederick Douglass would later put it perfectly: once you learn to read, you will be forever free. Humphreys was building an army of educators. On February 25th in the 1830s, specifically in 1837, they did it. The African Institute opened its doors. According to Cheyney University's official history, it was later renamed the Institute for Colored Youth. This wasn't just any school. This was America's first historically black college and university. While slavery still had nearly 30 years left, while most of America was trying to keep black people in chains, this institution was preparing them to become teachers, mechanics, and agriculturalists. But the story gets even better. In the early 1900s, specifically in 1902, the school moved to a 275-acre farm owned by Quaker George Cheyney, about 25 miles west of Philadelphia. Booker T. Washington himself spoke at the reopening in 1905. By 1914, Pennsylvania officially recognized it as the Cheyney Training School for Teachers. In 1983, it became Cheyney University of Pennsylvania, the oldest of 14 universities in the Pennsylvania state system and the only HBCU in the state. Now here's what makes this absolutely legendary. According to Britannica and university records, Cheyney has produced over 30,000 graduates. We're talking about Ed Bradley, the first black television correspondent to cover the White House, who spent 26 award-winning years on CBS's 60 Minutes. We're talking about Bayard Rustin, the brilliant civil rights activist who organized the 1963 March on Washington and received the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously in 2013. We're talking about Octavius Catto, the 1858 valedictorian who fought to get the 15th Amendment passed, giving black men the right to vote. This institution survived everything America threw at it. According to historical court records, Cheyney faced systematic underfunding and sued the state in the 1980s. The lawsuit wasn't settled until 1999, nearly 2 decades later, with Pennsylvania agreeing to provide $35 million. That's the price of trying to erase history. So here's the question I need you to answer in the comments. If one man's $10,000 in the 1830s could create an institution that produced 30,000 graduates and changed American history, what could we accomplish today if we invested in education the way Richard Humphreys did? Drop your thoughts below. And if this story made you see American history differently, smash that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and follow Ikamafuna History TV because we're uncovering the stories they don't teach in schools. History isn't just about what happened. It's about what we do with what we know.